Money and Luck. The Art of Attraction. A practical guide to building the mindset, habits, and opportunities that turn preparation into what we call luck. Introduction: what this book is and isn't. This is not a book about magical thinking. It will not tell you to visualize a check in the mail and wait for the universe to deliver it. It also won't pretend that mindset alone pays bills. What this book argues is simpler and more useful. Luck is not random noise that happens to you. It is the visible tip of an invisible iceberg made of preparation, exposure, relationships, and repeated small decisions. People who seem to attract money and good fortune are usually doing a set of things, consistently, that increase the surface area where opportunity can find them. Each chapter in this book pairs a mental model with concrete practices. You can read it start to finish, or use it as a reference and return to the chapter that matches whatever is stuck for you right now: fear, disorganization, isolation, or simply not knowing where to begin. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Often attributed to Seneca. Chapter 1: Redefining Luck. Most people think of luck as external, a force that acts on you. The reframe this book asks you to make is that luck is a rate, not an event. It is the rate at which good opportunities cross your path, and the rate at which you're positioned to recognize and use them. The 3 ingredients of manufactured luck. Exposure: how many rooms, conversations, and situations you're actually in. Readiness: whether your skills, savings, and reputation let you say yes when something good appears. Recognition: whether you notice an opportunity at all, since many pass by unseen. Increase any one of these and your measured luck goes up, even though nothing mystical has changed. This is why the same neighborhood produces both people who feel perpetually unlucky and people who seem to stumble into good breaks every year. They are running different exposure, readiness, and recognition systems. A simple exercise. List 3 good things that happened to you in the last year that felt like luck. For each one, trace it backward. What conversation, habit, or decision put you in position for it? Most people find a thread of small, unglamorous choices behind every lucky break. Chapter 2: The Psychology of Money. Before any tactic works, it helps to notice the story you already carry about money. Many people inherited beliefs in childhood that money is dangerous, that wanting more is greedy, that people like them don't get rich. And these beliefs quietly veto opportunities before they're even considered. Scarcity thinking versus abundance thinking. Scarcity thinking treats money as a fixed pie. If someone else gets more, you get less. It leads to hoarding, underpricing your own work, and avoiding any risk. Abundance thinking treats value as something that can be created, not just redistributed, which opens the door to negotiation, investment, and collaboration instead of pure competition. Neither extreme is fully accurate. Some resources really are limited, and abundance thinking taken too far becomes denial. The useful middle ground is, assume more value can be created through skill and effort, while still respecting real constraints like time and capital. Naming your money story. Write down the first money-related sentence you remember hearing from a parent or guardian. Ask whether you still believe it, and whether it's actually true for you today. This alone often loosens a belief that has been quietly shaping decisions for decades. Chapter 3: The Attraction Effect. Attention shapes outcomes. There is a real, well-documented phenomenon behind the idea that what you focus on expands, though the mechanism is attention and behavior, not magnetism. When you decide that a certain kind of opportunity matters to you, your brain's reticular activating system starts flagging related information that it previously filtered out as irrelevant. This is why someone who starts thinking seriously about buying a certain car suddenly sees that model everywhere. The cars were always there, attention just started tagging them as relevant. The same effect applies to money. Once you decide you're actively looking for income opportunities, side hustle ideas, or investment options, you begin noticing them in places you'd have scrolled past before. Turning attention into action. Noticing an opportunity is only half the equation. The second half is having a standing habit of acting on small signals quickly, sending the follow-up message, asking the question, applying before you feel fully ready. People who seem to attract good fortune are usually just faster at converting a noticed signal into a real move. Chapter 4: Building Your Luck Surface Area. Entrepreneur Jason Roberts coined the phrase luck surface area to describe a simple formula: luck grows in proportion to the things you do and the people who know about it. Doing great work in private, with nobody aware of it, produces far less luck than doing good work visibly. 4 ways to expand surface area. Create in public. Share what you're building, learning, or thinking about, even in a small way. Say yes to the coffee chat. Low-stakes conversations are where most unexpected opportunities start. Teach what you know. Explaining a skill publicly signals expertise and attracts collaborators. Show up consistently in a community. Repeated presence builds trust faster than one big splash. None of this requires an extroverted personality. It requires a decision to be findable and a willingness to let people see work in progress, not just finished products. Chapter 5: Money Habits That Compound. Mindset opens doors. Habits keep you standing on solid ground once you walk through them. This chapter is deliberately unglamorous, because the habits that build wealth over decades are rarely exciting in the moment. The Core 4. Track before you cut. Know where money actually goes before deciding where to change anything. Automate the boring decisions. Savings and investing should happen without requiring willpower each month. Build a buffer before you build a bet. An emergency cushion is what lets you take a real risk later without panic. Reinvest a fixed share of every win. Windfalls and raises are easiest to redirect toward growth before lifestyle expands to meet them. None of these habits guarantee a specific lucky break. What they guarantee is that when a break does arrive, a job offer, an investment opportunity, a chance to go independent, you have the financial footing to actually take it. Chapter 6: Risk, Fear, and the Courage to Act. Every story of someone attracting money involves a moment where they said yes to something uncertain. Fear is not a signal to stop, it's a signal that something matters. Distinguishing productive fear from a genuine red flag is one of the most valuable skills in this whole book. A simple risk filter. Before saying no to an uncertain opportunity out of fear, ask 3 questions. Is this reversible? Can I afford the downside if it fails? Will I regret not trying more than I'd regret trying and failing? Opportunities that pass all 3 tests are usually worth the discomfort of saying yes. Small bets beat big gambles. You don't need to bet everything on one uncertain outcome. Most people who look lucky from the outside actually placed many small, low-cost bets over years, a side project here, an application there, and the one that worked is the only one anyone else noticed. Chapter 7: Relationships as a Wealth Multiplier. Sociologist Mark Granovetter's research on job searches found that people were more likely to find new opportunities through acquaintances than through close friends, a finding often summarized as the strength of weak ties. Close friends tend to know the same people and information you already know. Acquaintances bring genuinely new leads. Practical relationship habits. Reconnect with one dormant contact every week, with no ask attached. Introduce 2 people in your network who could genuinely help each other. Follow up after any meeting with a specific, concrete next step rather than a vague promise. Give before you ask, a resource, a piece of advice, or a useful introduction. Money and opportunity move through networks far more than through solo effort. Treating relationship building as a real practice, not an afterthought, is one of the highest leverage things in this entire book. Chapter 8: Daily and Weekly Practices. Below is a simple rhythm you can adapt. The specific schedule matters less than having some recurring structure that keeps attention, habits, and relationships moving instead of stalling. Daily, 10 to 15 minutes. Review your top 1 or 2 priorities for the day. Note one thing you're grateful for and one thing you're actively pursuing. Send at least one message that moves a relationship or opportunity forward. Weekly, 30 to 45 minutes. Review spending and savings against your plan. Reach out to one dormant contact. Reflect on one thing you noticed this week that you might have missed a year ago. Identify one small, reversible bet you could place in the coming week. Consistency compounds. A modest practice repeated for years will outperform an intense one that burns out after a month. Chapter 9: When Luck Runs Out. Resilience. No system of habits guarantees permanent good fortune. Markets turn, industries shift, and even well-prepared people hit stretches that feel genuinely unlucky. This chapter is about what to do when the streak breaks. Separate the event from the identity. A setback is information about a situation, not a verdict on your worth or competence. People who recover fastest tend to describe bad periods in specific, temporary terms. This deal fell through, rather than I'm the kind of person things fall through for. Rebuild the basics first. In a downturn, return to the fundamentals from Chapter 5, protect the buffer, track spending closely, and resist the urge to make one big desperate bet to recover losses quickly. Slow, steady rebuilding beats a second high-risk swing taken from a place of fear. Conclusion: becoming the kind of person luck finds. If there is one idea to take from this book, it's that attraction is built, not summoned. The people who consistently seem to catch good breaks with money have simply arranged their attention, habits, relationships, and courage so that when opportunity passes by, they are positioned to see it and equipped to take it. You don't need to overhaul your life this week. Pick one chapter, one habit, one relationship to rebuild. Luck, built this way, tends to compound quietly, and one day you'll look back and recognize the thread of small decisions that led here. Diligence is the mother of good luck. Benjamin Franklin. End of audiobook.